When long-distance hikers reach Pennsylvania, the halfway point, they are often at a psychologically low point in their journey. The Tuscarora sandstone exposed on the ridge of the long, spiny Blue Mountain can trip up even the fittest of hikers. Except for an occasional water gap, the elevation map reads like a cruising trail, and many hikers mistakenly expect to motor through the miles. The heat and humidity soar in July, when through hikers typically enter our state, adding to their overall misery. Todd and I knew of this problem intimately. We had each completed the entire 2,180-mile trail, and for years managed a hostel along the route near Hawk Mountain Sanctuary in Eckville, Pennsylvania, under the Volunteers in Parks VIP program of the National Park Service. In 2013, word had spread that a group of veterans was through hiking the Appalachian Trail, attempting to heal from their trauma by hiking. I wrote a few pieces on their inspiring endeavor, which were published in various magazines. Todd and I organized a big dinner and gave them a much-needed break from hiking the trail. In return, we hoped they'd share a story or two around the campfire. Since 2001, more than 2.7 million veterans have been to war zones in Iraq and Afghanistan, according to a 2019 report on suicide prevention by the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. 1 in 5 veterans has been diagnosed with PTSD. Many veterans who suffer with PTSD never seek help and have never been diagnosed. An average of 17 veterans, the number is 20 if you include active duty and National Guard, die by suicide every day, totaling almost 60,000 veterans since 2010. That is more than the total number of lives lost in more than 18 years of combat in the Middle East. Our nation has tragically failed these veterans. These staggering numbers have forced therapists, caregivers, and researchers to find alternatives to traditional therapies and prescribed medications to treat veterans with PTSD, depression, and anxiety. One of the most innovative approaches is ecotherapy, which uses outdoor activities in nature to improve mental and physical well-being. Hundreds of studies conducted in the past decade or so have convinced even the most skeptical that spending time in nature has the power to heal. Since walking is so accessible, hiking is one of the easiest ways to reap the benefits of nature's healing. These veterans at our campfire were hoping to find that along the Appalachian Trail. Over the course of the evening, more veterans held the rainstick and shared their stories. It wasn't enough to pack 30 pounds on sore knees and aching muscles. They also hauled war-induced nightmares and memories up the mountains. The trek spurred recollections of years in the service, images of dead comrades, the torment of second-guessing orders, questioning their own survival, while others had perished. These thoughts haunted the veterans as they climbed. Mile after mile, though, they began to leave such thoughts behind, to deposit memories on the valley floors, and ascend to greater heights of acceptance of their lives and their service. Through hiking, these vets came to terms with much of what they saw, experienced, or may have had to do, just as they accepted nature's harsh terms of steep climbs, rocks and roots, and stormy weather. Their dark pasts began to recede, much as the mountains they summited faded into the distance. They weren't walking away from their histories. They were learning to live with them and themselves. You cannot get rid of the past, but you can learn to live with it, grow from it, and work to be free from its emotional turmoil. As they traveled the Appalachian Trail, these veterans experienced a roller coaster of emotions. They shed tears of joy at the beauty of the world and the fate that allowed them to return home, while their best friends perished. There were also tears of regret over death and the horror inflicted on fellow humans.